How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Monitor Comics, the channel where we create comics and manga. In today's video, we're going to be discussing formatting and margins. We'll be going over the best ways to format your comics and manga, so be sure to watch this video in its entirety. Thank you, Femtu himself, for the video suggestion. Let's jump right into it. Starting things off, I want to define what exactly a margin is and what it's used for. According to this definition from Merriam-Webster Dictionary, a margin is the part of a page outside of the main body of printed matter, the limit below which economic activity cannot be continued under normal circumstances. In simpler terms, margins are the rulers or guidelines that tell a printer where to cut the page off during mass production. When it comes to making comics and manga, there are three main margins you want to be aware of: safe/live area, trim/cutoff area, and bleed area. Anything drawn or written outside of the cutoff margin will not be present in the final print. This dead area is known as the bleed area. Some printers have margins known as trim lines, which indicate the final size of the page after printing. By referencing the trim line margin, you know exactly where to stop drawing or writing so your work doesn't bleed off into the dead area and cut off during the final printing process. It's important to note that different publications or websites may use different cutoff margins. It's always a good idea to research the publication or website page dimensions beforehand if they are publicly available. If you're unsure, it's always better to ask. A great example of this is the page dimensions used at Saturday AM, the world's global manga anthology. If we go to the Saturday AM website, we can see that they publicly share their manga page dimensions. Saturday AM does this so their published artists always have something to reference. They also publicly post these dimensions so newcomers who participate in the summer manga event create their pages in the correct dimensions. Taking a look at the specifications, a page published in Saturday AM should be 2000 pixels by 1224 pixels, portrait format. The pages used for Saturday AM's physical books are taller than traditional manga books, so keep that in mind. We can also see that Saturday AM wants their pages to be between 300 dpi and 600 dpi, but preferably 600 dpi. DPI stands for dots per inch and refers to the printing resolution. According to this definition, DPI is a measure of the resolution of a printed document or a digital scan. The higher the dot density, the higher the resolution of the print or scan. Typically, a program like Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint will set your file's DPI to 300 dpi by default. This is because 300 dpi is the industry standard for a high-resolution file that is lightweight. For publishing, however, 600 dpi is better to use because by creating a larger file, you'll be able to retain more file information when you need to print. You can always adjust your file's DPI whenever you feel like it, so don't panic if you're already working on a comic project and have your DPI set to 300 dpi or something else. The only bad outcome that can come from printing at the incorrect resolution is your pages may print blurry or pixelated. To understand manga formatting and dimensions, we can reference traditional tankobon dimensions. Tankobon is the Japanese word referring to a single volume of a manga. If you've ever looked at a manga selection in a bookstore, I'm sure you've noticed that the manga volumes are relatively small books. It doesn't matter what series or franchise the manga is from, each manga volume typically is around the same size. In Japan, the standard tankobon dimensions is 5 inches by 7 inches. Paperback manga volumes in Japan can slightly vary in size, but the most common paper size used is Japanese B6, which means 5.04 inches by 7.17 inches. Manga translated and published in America is slightly larger than the traditional Japanese manga volume. This paper size is also known as digest form, digest size, Tokyopop trim, or Tokyopop size. The specific dimension for manga sold in America is approximately 5 inches by 7.5 inches. A common practice among traditional artists is to purchase deleter paper. Deleter paper is an industry standard paper brand that comes in various sizes. The cool thing about deleter paper is that it comes with standard manga dimensions and rulers right on the paper. This makes it incredibly easy to not worry about formatting and just focus on creating manga. Similarly, for all of my digital artists out there, the program Clip Studio Paint actually has page formatting templates in the advanced page settings. You can quickly import page rulers and margins from professional manga publications like Shonen Jump and Young Jump. I highly recommend you look into either of these tools if you're getting serious about creating comics or manga. I'll leave Amazon links to everything mentioned down in the description below. I want to let you all know that these are affiliate links. All this means is that you can purchase anything in the description using my unique link, and then I'll make a cut of the profit instead of Amazon taking all of your money. So if you were thinking about buying one of these products anyway, then I hope you can use my unique affiliate link to help support the channel. Moving on to American comic formatting, standard issues tend to be a lot taller and thinner than manga tankobons. For this section, I'll be referencing standard US comic book page dimensions. If you're looking for details about more specific publications like Marvel, DC Comics, Dark Horse Comics, Image Comics, etc., I'm sure they have their page specifications listed somewhere on their website. For the most part, most American-based publishers will use this standard page format. The only variation you might see working with different publishers is DPI resolution and maybe bleed margins. Typically, a standard US comic book page is 6.875 inches by 10.438 inches, bleed. 6.625 inches by 10.187 inches trim, and 6 inches by 9.5 inches live. All this means is whatever you put in the live area will 100% show up when your comic is printed. Everything along the trim lines will be cut off during the printing process. If you want a clean border around your page, then do not draw to the edge of the trim area. Instead, focus all of your work in the safe/live area. Similar to the leader paper, there are industry standard papers used for American comic books. Some manufacturing brands include CANSON and STRATHMORE. I'll link a few of those products down below in the description below for you to check out as well. When it comes to exporting, you'll want to make sure that your file is set to CMYK and not RGB color. CMYK stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and key. CMYK is the format used for offset printing. RGB stands for red, green, and blue. Red, green, and blue is the format used for screen work. It's worth noting that there are many more colors and Photoshop effects available with RGB files, so this is why many digital artists prefer to work with RGB files if they intend to only present their work online. If you have any plan to print your work, then working in CMYK color might be better for you. It's very easy to change your file's color profile in the settings, so a common practice is to use an RGB file but always have a CMYK preview window open so you can compare how your image would look if it was printed. If you don't pay attention to your file's color profile, you might be very disappointed when you print your work and are disappointed with the results. Finally, I want to talk about the file type formatting. Pages should not be provided to printers as a JPEG file. JPEG files compress the artwork to reduce the file size. JPEG files are perfectly fine for uploading online due to their compressed file size, and they're much faster to download and open. JPEG files are not suitable for print. If you plan to only export line work to send off to a colorist or a letterer, then it's best to use TIFF files. TIFF files are a very small file that do not affect the quality of your line work whatsoever. Make sure you check the LZW compression box to massively reduce the file size. For final pages that are ready to be handed in, always use PDF files. By default, PDF files will compress your artwork like JPEG files. PDF files can be set to not compress your artwork, but the result will be an enormous file. Exporting your work as a PDF file should only be used when you're 100% done with your work and you're ready to send it off to be printed. Hopefully you got some value out of this video and were able to learn something new. If you enjoyed this video, then please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a comment down below telling us about the manga or comic project you're currently working on. If you're looking for more comic making tips, please check out some of my other videos after you're done watching this one. We've already gone over a ton of cool topics, including understanding manga effects, scripting your comics, and even improving your character dialogue. You can find all the links to my social media accounts down below. Don't forget to check out my manga, Change the World, published and serialized with Saturday AM. If you would like an original artwork or fan artwork created by me, then please consider commissioning me. As always, keep creating, guys. I'll see you all in the next one.